Hi everyone. Today we are gonna learn session. In previous tutorials we have seen how to use SQLAlchemy with different databases. Imagine you are working at a desk in a busy office. You have got a stack of papers to read, some edits to make and a few to file away permanently. It is your workspace. In SQLAlchemy, the session is just like that desk. It is your staging area between your Python code and database. So I am using MySQL database in this tutorial. It does not matter which database you are using provided that you have correct database URL for engine. If you want to install MySQL on your machine, then you can watch my previous tutorials. Here is my PyCharm editor. This is my demo project and a new Python program to understand session. But before you dive into anything with SQLAlchemy, you need to install its package. As soon as you type pip install SQLAlchemy, so this package will be installed on your project, right? We have virtual environment and we have already installed it. We are not going to install this package again. So I'm gonna import SQLAlchemy package and I'm gonna import few classes from it. Okay. I have also used SQLAlchemy.orm, import a declarative base and then session maker class. This package I have used to actually handle a @sign in the password for your database connection. So let me take a base object from declarative base method. It is a factory function that creates a base class for your ORM model. It is used to define Python classes that map directly to database tables. Now I am going to define a class that is orders, which is inheriting this base model. I'm providing the table name for this object, right? We have three fields: ID, order name, and amount. And these are the type of these fields, right? Column, that is integer, and it would be a primary key. For order number column, that would take a string up to 10 characters, right? We have amount, that would be an integer type of column. This is a very simple class that we are going to use in our program. So this is my engine configurations, right? I'm using MySQL and you need to install this MySQL package on your project, right? You have to just type one command, pip install MySQL. This package will be installed and then you will be able to connect with MySQL. This is called a dialect and this is as a user on my MySQL. And this method we are using from urllib.parse, that is a default package, comes with Python bundle, and this method actually handles @sign in the password. That's why we are using. This is the server name of our MySQL database. This is the port that we are running on, and this is the database name that we are going to connect in this program. This is a very simple object which creates engine. Now I'm gonna use one more method, base.metadata.createAll. This is for creating tables in your database. That is important. We are passing engine object to connect with our MySQL database. If you run the program, you will refresh your database. Then you will be able to see this new table, right? We have all three columns that we have defined over here. Okay, so we are able to create a new table in MySQL database. Our next step is to use a session maker class to create session. So we will create a session object with help of session maker class. Mind the engine to the session is very important so that our session knows what a database it will be interacting with. Now I'm gonna initialize another object that will actually start your session. I am now going to create a new order for this ORD1 orders. We will take order number, amount. Let me take $1,000 and we are going to add new order into the database. Okay, this is not correct. So session dot add, right? Then we need to save the data. Just use commit method, right? It will save this new order into the table permanently. Run the program. Program done successfully. If you just check it, you have new row into the database. The add method actually generates a SQL statement that awaits execution by the transaction. And the commit method executes all SQL statements in the transaction. Okay, you can also use context manager, which is optional session, and okay, in the program it will commit your new record into the database table. Program runs successfully. If you refresh, you will be able to see the second record, right? So here we don't need to use session.close method. This context manager will ensure that session is going to be closed, right? You can also use try and finally. So this is the code of block that I'm going to use. Going to replace control X V. Let me remove all this. Right. This is other way. We are going to create another order, right? In the finally block that executes always, we are closing our session, right? Run the program, run successfully, refresh the table, we have third record. We have a session dot a begin method that provides a context manager which both begins and commits a transaction, as well as close out the session when complete and roll back the transaction if any error occurs. So this method handles everything for you. Let me comment this out, and I have fourth orders to be inserted, right? Run the program, it runs successfully. You will refresh the table, then you will be able to see fourth record. Let's move further. If you want to add multiple records at the same time, right, that we can use a dot add all method. Okay, so this add all method accepts iterable object, right? We can insert multiple records at the same time. Let's run the program. It will save your both records, right? Program ran successfully. Refresh the table. You will have fifth and sixth record. Let's read row from the database. I will say statement. I'll use select method and our model. Select method we are going to use here. Then we will use session.scalars and then pass this statement and use all method, right? This is for traversing the result object, which will show you that order number and the amount. Let's run the program. Yeah, we are getting old rows from database. Or you can create a function. I'm defining def get rows and just call get rows. This is the same thing. Or session.query function can also be used. Here we don't need to pass any statement. Instead, we will pass this orders model. All right, this is the same thing. Either you can use select method or use query method. Okay, and the program, you will get the same result. If you want to get a specific fields from your model, then this is possible by execute method, right? Here we are selecting the fields which we want to select, right? Amount and the order number. So this statement will be passed to the execute method and this row will return a tuple type, right? We can locate our fields with help of these integer index, right? 0 and 1. Okay, let me put order amount at the last, right? And the program, it will give you the same result, order number and the amount. We can select a number of fields if we want. If you want to only get one field, you see, you can also fire a row SQL statement with help of text method, right? Text we need to import, right? Select from orders. All function will return all the records from the table. We are not going to use this statement. Okay, run the program. So your output will be the same. Let's filter out some data. We will use a simple filter by order number equals to 0, 2. Okay, you don't need to locate your field name with help of digit value. Just use the property or attribute name, right? Amount. So this filter by method will filter out the data on basis of order number. So we will get those records from the table where order number is ORD02. That means we will get only this record. And the program, you will see only one record. If you want to set more fields with your filter, then you can say that ID should be 2. And the program, it will perform AND operation with both the fields, right? If you say ID equals to 1 and ORD equals to 02, then you will not get any record because this condition is not matching with the database. We do not have order number 2 where ID is 1, right? You see, there is one more method, that is where method. Okay, here we will say that orders dot ID should always be greater than 2. And the program, you will get records where ID is greater than 2, which means that we have ID 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's put ID as well. ID row.id. And the program 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's perform order by operation on the same statement, right? I'm going to use order by orders.id. Okay, by default, records will be written in ascending order on this field. And in the program, yeah, it is in ascending order, right? If you want to apply descending order, you will just use a descending function, right? This you have to use. Descending, the ID would be starting from 6 to 3. And the program, you will get 6, 5, 4, and 3. Or you can use a descending function on the field itself. This method. It will give you the same output. Alright. Let's say you want to get first record on this order by, right? We want only this particular record, right? Instead of all, just delete this code, row in the program. You will get only first record from this order. You see, if you change the order, then you will get different record. You see, that is now 3. Let me roll back the code and we are just going to remove this. Run it again. Now let me show you the concept of session.commit method. Actually, I'm going to add a new row into my model, but I'm not committing this data on the session. Let's check the rows. In the program, you will see the order number 7 with your output. But this order is not yet saved against the database, right? It is just still with this model, with this particular session. All right. As soon as you use session.commit, this will save permanently into the database table. You are seeing that it is there, but if you check the database, you will not see this order number 7 in the table. So until unless you use commit method on the session, this will not be saved into the database. Run the program. Now you will be able to see this in the table, order number 7. Okay. For example, you have not committed this data yet, and you want this data to be rolled back from your model, then session.rollback method will be useful for this case, right? Suppose I'm going to insert order number 8 and I'm not committing this data to the database, right? So this will add to my model for this session, right? And if you want to now roll back, so it will roll back from this model, right? You will see that the order number 8 will not be shown at the last because we have just rolled back this order number 8 before showing to the output, right? This is that bunch, right? Now let me show you how to get a particular record from the table using session. I have a code snippet to get a particular record. Here I'm using get method which will give me the specific order basis on this ID. I'm going to get a row number 3, this record, and then I'm going to display this on the console. Okay? In the program, you will get only a specific record. Now let me show you how to update the table with help of session, right? I have code snippet handy to save time. I am going to use this getRow method, which will return me the first record, and then I'm updating the amount. Okay, like this. And then I'm committing the data, and then I'm going to get all the rows from the table. Run the program. You will get the order number 1 will have amount 2, 2, 2, and 2, right? This is how we can update data. There is another way to update record in bulk. Let's say you want to update all the records which has order ID greater than 2, right? So all your records will be updated with amount $1,000. First, it will filter the data and then it will update all records with this amount. And then we are going to commit the data. Control C, Control V. That's perfect. It will show you the updated records. You see, all the orders which has ID greater than 2 will show you the amount as $1,000, right? Let me show you how to delete a record, right? I want to get order ID 2 and then we will use a delete method on the session, right? Right, and then pass the order which we want to delete, right? So row number 2 will be deleted from the database. And the program, you will see that there is no record where ID is 2. Okay, even in the database, there will not be any row with 2. Okay, 1 and 3. We can also delete multiple records with help of filter method, right? First, we are filtering the data where ID is greater than 5 and we are just using delete method and then we are committing it, right? So all the records where ID is greater than 5 will be deleted from the database table. Run the program. You see that we have no records where ID is greater than 5. You can also use in method for deleting multiple records. Let me use delete method from Alchemy. Just apply a where method and you can pass multiple ID in this method, right? And then this delete query we are passing to this execute method. It will return first and third row from this set, right? We will only get 4 and 5. Okay, and the program, you will see that we have 4 and 5 only. Yep. So the session is your personal assistant for managing your interaction with the database. It is smart, it keeps track of your work, and it's your tool for making sure everything is stored properly. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned what is a session in SQLAlchemy and how it is implemented in Python project. So hit a like button and give me the comment down below of video. Don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.